How do you respond and react when things don't go your way? When decisions are made that is against what you really believe, against the ways that perhaps you've been living? Today, the 18th of February, is the feast day of Colman. Colman was the Bishop of Lindisfarne at the time of the Synod of Whitby. Colman was, in fact, the first to speak at the Synod of Whitby. He spoke of the Celts' love of the Apostle John, of the wisdom that he was revered of having, and of his teachings of love. Colman spoke of the Celtic way and how the Celts understood the Christian faith and expressed it. As we know, the decision at the Synod of Whitby went against the Celtic Church, that all the monastic centres, firstly in Northumbria and then spreading out across Britain and Ireland, were to come under the Roman rule. Colman was saddened, Bede tells us, that his beloved way was to be forgotten, was to be abandoned, that his monastery on Lindisfarne was to take on the Roman rule. But instead of arguing back or standing in defiance against the king's decree, Colman decided to take time humbly in retreat to discern what was to be done. So he and a number of other Celtic bishops returned to Ireland. They spent time with God, discerning what's going to go on, what they were going to do, how they were going to respond. The meditations for Colman in my book 40 Days with the Celtic Saints tell us that God loved Colman and Colman loved God. He loved and served God, dedicated to the way of life that he'd been taught, he'd been brought up with. But he was also a humble and righteous man, knowing that retreating for a time of discernment was godlier than fighting back. So the question is, how do you respond when decisions don't go your way? Do we act with emotional outbursts, or do you step back, take time to think, time of prayerful discernment? How might you live in such a way and in such an awareness of God that you more often respond in the right way than with unhelpful outbursts? So the question is, when things don't go your way, how do you react?